that if Kyle is going to continuously use the soundboard to express himself, then I should be able to use the video drops to express myself.
Like the video drops are a punch to the face.
Let's think about that.
Not very sofa friendly.
Did you soak that in? Don't worry, you'll be seeing it more
That
often.
was my favorite thing I've ever seen in my life.
Speaking of...
Kyle's got the shoes and he's gonna show them all off.
Guns N' Roses shirt yesterday, and it's got the skulls, right?
All right.
And if you check this out, you're like, oh, wow, that has little skulls on it. No, it doesn't. They're stormtroopers.
Pew pew. Wow.
I'm an entertainer.
That's great.
Jenny, you know that Johnny's like your father.
And we're your friends. We're gonna help you.
That's how I feel about Kyle's shoes.
One of the things about Back to the Sofa is it's not just about really cool... have a little bit of insight into this sort of thing. So watching people at the beginning of getting into this will be data wrangler.
Yeah,
I was a data wrangler.
They also call them DATs. Okay, let's go.
What's DAT stand for?
I don't know.
Digital something transfer?
Artist. I don't know.
Not artist.
Fartist. Okay.
Jesus, that's a long intro.
This is very 2000s.
I always wanted to become a storyteller, so I thought I probably need to go to film school to be able to become a director. NYU was the only film school I read about. I didn't read about USC or UCLA or any of these other schools.
For me, film school
NYU is a famous film
allowed me
school.
to physically do it, to physically create film. I am.
Oh, Brett Ratner.
What do you think?
He,
You're a master.
What did he
fine art.
direct?
the X-Men films, but also disgraced from sexual abuse allegations all over.
Oh, well, they all do that.
Film school for me was a very
Hey, Todd Phillips.
cool experience.
He only has
film school, and it got
old school under his title and not Joker.
I could have made it any.
Fast Times, loved Fast Times.
Oh my God, one of the best movies. Born in Jamaica.
You know, I always love looking at black and white hands together. It's so cinematic. Do you think that we could actually do something and still work together on the set?
Now, let's just say that's a rehearsal.
I knew that film was gonna be my thing. At some point in my life, there's always been this thing calling me.
So it's very common for, and it's a good thing, for any form of director or producer to have acting experience too, because you're directing actors.
Right.
So it's, why not be well versed? You don't have to be a good actor, but you have to have an understanding.
We had a little bit of experience with that in our production classes where a couple of the guys were actors and we would kind of rely on them heavily to help us out when we were, you know, how do I shoot this? How do I interact with the people on the screen?
I wouldn't ask for another life.
Even at the time, I think they mentioned it, this chick is a trip. I think the school every semester was like $30,000.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly expensive to go to NYU.
Oh my gosh, she went to Brown, she's 24 years old at the time.
I just love New York.
She's like, how can I get more debt?
As soon as I got here, I felt at home. I didn't really know much about it. I just kind of made the decision and came. And that's kind of how things work.
See, I don't feel so bad about my films when I see this is her film.
My entire life on some level. Always taken.
Hey guys, can you guess which character on this show that is most like Kyle?
I use those masks in a
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Saw this I got and I put a fish in it because I thought it'd be a good like fish tank, but the fish died. I wrapped this in saran wrap. It's called the Sexer Cycle. This is what my dad thinks art is, so he gave me that. I knew that if I went to art...
So this is the type of person that thinks that they're going to direct a bigger budget. That's Sabretooth with a...
Yeah, I mean...
So I decided I wanted to go to film school.
I kind of want to hang out.
Stream people watch films and don't go to weird experimental artsy installations. So...
It's called art. Look it up. 28 from Texas. If you have the money and you're relentless enough, you can get into film school.
I lived on
with
my grandmother.
as a receptionist. And,
I don't know if this is soundboard worthy.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Hi, Chris. My grandmother did not want me to go to film school. She wanted me to keep my receptionist job and meet some rich man.
You'll meet somebody again.
Well,
eventually, I'd
you
like
could
to
get on
meet
Rock of
someone
Love, I guess.
married. I can't really swing.
I don't think so.
And meeting guys at the same time, though. Some people can.
Just there's room for a lot of people in a lot of different industries, but in video and in film, as a director, you gotta be able to command performances. And that type of person, you don't have to be an introvert, but it damn well helps to be an extrovert.
It sure does. I think I'm gonna turn it off.
It was a total disaster. So if I don't pull this one off, I don't feel like there's anything ahead of me. This is a chance at a career.
Vincenzo Tripodo.
His name is Tripod.
Yeah, he's born for this. Previously an opera director. He's the oldest of the group at 35.
Was part of my life from the very, very beginning.
Hey, look here, how many films, guy.
I grew up inside a theater. I can be addicted to a place like that.
Oh, remember that? Remember those places existed?
Yeah, remember places with movies? Remember when movies was a thing in a place?
Cinema, and I was watching 2 times, 3 times the same film. Do you have
Oh yeah, well, I've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure 100 times.
Yeah, what do you say about that?
From the other side of the sky.
You say it with an accent and all of a sudden you're not a psycho, right? I watched the Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
16 to deal with theater. Since then, I never stopped. In Italy, I was...
Yeah, that's how everyone does it. In high school, they take a drama class, and then they do it forever.
6 months later, I was in...
Or they stop.
So he was doing opera in Italy and then just bounced to NYU.
Yeah, and opera, it's from Italy. Right?
What's your point?
Well,
like it's easy for him?
No, not that it's easy, but that it is culturally way more common, and part of the history of the country is actually based around opera. Music, when you're writing, like if you want it fast or slow or loud or soft, it's all in Italian. That's how, like, in music that Italian is. So doing opera in Italy, it's not just, like me doing it in Iowa or something. Like doing opera in Italy seems like, you know what, Chris?
You're making this point, and what's chat saying? Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Right. In the industry, like, you really need to be honest about what you're capable of. As you'll see later in the series, you need to be honest about what you're capable of and really think through all of your decision-making processes. And that's why when we see certain movies, we're like, okay, what were all the decisions that led to why this sucks so bad?
Yeah.
Something that they want to put on the screen for us to fairly react to.
Take 36 students.
They only take 36 students a semester at the time.
Who go to school.
Right, and it's $30,000 to do 1/4 of it.
Pretty heavy load because they're taking writing, directing, cinematography. They're taking editing classes. There's 36 students and they're all making a film at the same time. Usually, the first thing that people do when they finish a film is they'll put it into our festival here at NYU. That's the culmination.
Yeah, that's like the final.
And no one cares about grades.
No.
Dogfight.
Let me see.
All right. This is about getting your film completed and having access to a lot of talent, professor-wise, and connections. This film school is really about connections. So, Pim, not...
I can barely see Corey. Come on.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No, that's good. Nah, we don't need that. I don't want to get sued right now.
Sued for what?
Sued for anything. He's on a rampage right now.
I think 90% of directing is casting, If you can cast,
That's true. I've heard that a lot. And we did not have good cast.
Your job.
No.
During our time.
No, we got Chris and Kyle.
You too.
For this show.
I've already auditioned over 100.
But being in New York and having a casting call gets you a wide net.
Story of when
You got a better pool to draw from, just like if you were in LA.
How bad?
It was real bad.
Yeah.
Or the Central Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
At night, we like snuck in.
Have you ever been to the gynecologist?
All right, let's keep moving here.
I have very early memories of when she could still kind of walk.
It looks like San Francisco.
And all my memories of her have been in a wheelchair.
Maybe New York
Me
City.
having to take care of her. In the same way that like was tough and was lonely and difficult, there's a good side to it, which is now I know I can like deal with anything, and I think I'm more mature and more responsible.
Well,
more responsible. You have blow-up doll, like sex dolls that you made out of the X-Men bad guy.
Whose mom has multiple sclerosis. She's taking care of her mother. They fight all the time. They're not close.
So I want you guys to understand, and this is why when I watched this series and I asked Kyle to watch it, is because you see very clearly in others what motivates them to make movies. She just said she has a real mom with MS, and they don't have a great relationship, and now she's making a short film, and this is going to be her demo reel to try to make money in a real field about a girl and her mom who has MS, and they fight constantly. So like these things have to be super personal because they have to have a message that is bite-sized but still tastes like a 4-course meal. The only way you get that is through experience.
It's a film based on events from my childhood. This has been something that I've been needing to make for a long time and haven't done it because I've always been too scared. I guess first we'll talk about your mom.
It can be a great thing to make this. It can also be incredibly pretentious and incredibly selfish.
Right.
To make if it's not universally understood and I say consumable.
Rusty is great in that he
So and there is art
and outgoing and
that is super personal and comes from a super personal place, but you have to be really good at art before you can do that.
And you have to do this. Could you imagine being on a real job, on a real gig with her as the director? And your audio?
Oh, and I'm audio?
Rusty lives in Chicago.
And she's like, whatever happens, I want audio files of it. Can you make a cut in the every 5 minutes so that I can organize them?
That's right.
Like, no.
And like I was always so afraid of like, oh, you know, we gotta like make this. I have to crack the code. I have to be good at this. I have to be technically sound at everything that I do in order to make the vision. I have to be able to reproduce everything that I do and make it better and better and better. I have to be able to work in this industry. And that kept me up at night. Mm-hmm. And then you get people like this.
I don't think anyone in this whole fucking show has the self-awareness to even think that about themselves. They're like, I had this idea one time. I had one idea that I liked so good that I spent $120,000 on film school.
And his mom works at...
My mom goes to work in the evening at 10:30.
He's not a millionaire. This kid...
cashier at Pathmark.
Right.
9 o'clock the next day, she's at McDonald's. She works there until around 4 in the afternoon, goes to sleep, and then does the same thing again. She works pretty hard. I
Yeah.
a chance to stop and buy
We should probably give billionaires tax cuts.
Well, they need it. Come on.
to get my mother out of one of those jobs so she can do some things to enjoy life, so she can travel a little bit.
Wrong motivation to make art, buddy.
We're not gonna.
Bye.
Then don't make art. Make a Volvo commercial.
Or invent
The name of my
something.
film is The
Right.
Adventures of Super Nigger, and it's an allegory based on the shooting death of Amadou Diallo, West African immigrant, who was shot 41 times by the NYPD. Type movie style to take an audience to this real moment in history.
So now you see this guy's motivation in investing all of this money and his one shot that he's having in life to go into film school, to get accepted. You're gonna see how difficult and how much work and effort and stamina it takes to get something even shot.
Right.
Let
Even
alone
a
edited.
short little thing.
Oh, and he's choosing it to do this about this guy,
right?
About a guy who was killed by the police and got shot like a whole bunch, 40-something times, and all.
Right.
That's how important this is to him. Like, think about that. That has to be your driving factor in life in that moment, or it won't get done.
Think of a story that you think isn't out there, but would be cool if it was out there, and whether you have $60,000 to tell that story. Okay.
And a lot of time.
Right.
Time.
I'm 27 now. I already lived 6 years longer than Diallo got a chance to. So this is personal. It's real personal. This project is life and death for me. Here we are 1 month away from shooting, and the script is still weak, in my opinion, and I haven't put the love into it yet.
Dude,
that's right.
A month before filming and he doesn't have the script completed. Not because he's not trying, it's because he can't get it the way he wants it.
Right. You read your own script and you're like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And if you read your script and you think, oh yeah, this is good enough, you're wrong.
Dude, and then you got to go into a script critique.
They start talking about it.
I feel like you can solve those problems just by making one of the bad guys black or something.
Those are the things that I'm writing around.
You're getting the stirring up that you want to get happening here.
The use of the word nigga in the script. When you put super with nigga together, it becomes one word that no longer has the same meaning as nigga in itself.
Hearing their comments, I can see my audience a little bit.
Yeah.
All of the things the audience is going to be going through. They weren't necessarily about the script per se. They were about how people react and police brutality, all of those things. And the fact that they were doing that, inside I was smiling the whole time.
Yeah, because that's the whole point, is you're trying to elicit a call to action of emotion. So if you get them upset, if you get them nervous, and that's what you wanted, that's a bullseye.
But those are all emotions that the artist is trying to pull out of the people that see the art.
It's really admirable because these people are spending a lot of money, and they only get one chance. You don't go back to film school once you're out of it, and you don't get. It's a one-shot deal. So there's ways to become like people said, like Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. Like how he used credit cards. You're never supposed to do that. That worked out for one guy out of 1 million.
Oh yeah, there's 1,000 guys that did that.
Way more than that.
Guys and gals that have done that, and they just went bankrupt, and then went to the bankrupt thing and got all the thing, and they took all the stuff back, and they had to work at the dollar store, and then try to recover their life to try to make a movie about Kyle's soundboard.
By the way, he only made really one successful film. The other ones did not do great. And then
Cop Out was terrible.
He got out of directing after 10 years because he couldn't find any more work.
The Mallrats was great.
And that tanked. That did horribly.
That's unbelievable to me. It must have done great on video.
It did not for 10 years. It was a big stain, and he was worried, and it was bad.
And his spoken word stand-up is really good too.
This is an action.
These cameras aren't even amazing. They're not supposed to be. Yep. Oh, he's doing a camera test. Yeah, you got to.
They're doing a camera test on the other guy doing a camera test.
No, they're filming the camera test.
Camera rolling. Action.
But this is what you do when you care about your product.
Oh yeah, we spent days testing just to find out if where we put the camera is the right spot.
Vincenzo, we were dealing with somebody who was sort of operating at an unbelievably sophisticated level.
Vincenzo, I'd like to go to Italy with tomorrow. He's got great energy. He's very smart.
Just remember that the lens is here.
He's got this charming element that he uses, but I refuse to be charmed by him because he's got to work on the script.
See, that's the thing too, is this guy Vincenzo, they're not talking, they're talking about a lot of his characteristics, but they're not talking about his skill as a filmmaker because he doesn't have a lot. But he's charming, but he has a vision. He's selling the idea of who he is before he has any of the goods. You're a salesman constantly.
Yeah. And you can get pretty far with a great personality and tons of vibe and energy. But as soon as they see your film, all that changes.
Right, it doesn't matter.
So if you can keep the film away while you're still trying to get people on board, you can go pretty far. But as soon as you make a film and put it out, it's what it is. That's why it's taken me 5 years to release my album. It is not released yet.
My film is called Art of Spider, and it's based on events that actually happened while I was working at Cafe Figaro in New York. The main character is a man called Jimmy. Jimmy will get around the cafe scanning women with a fake spider, and one day Jimmy meets someone who has her own fake spider.
What?
They fall madly in love.
Oh, yeah.
It's a true fable.
Okay, so you get an idea of who these people are
It's
and what's
super derivative.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
Boris, because he's passionate, and because I need discipline, I think that Boris is really helpful for me.
It's too much about everything. Music sounds corny here for me.
Oh.
And then actress, I don't know if she is working as professional. Something real between these two people.
Oh.
At the end, I don't know what it is about, I think it's important to help individual to realize himself.
And that's really also
what he's doing is good enough, not always.
That's also what you're paying for, and what separates people is like the real deal professors and people that are really good with theory. It doesn't matter how many hours you just spent setting up a test shot and this is the best I can get for my actors to work. They'll just be like, this is terrible. She looks like she's not a professional. I wouldn't show any of this to anyone.
This music is terrible here. The vibe is completely wrong. Why are you focusing on that drink moving across the room? Is the film about a drink?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I thought it kind of set the mood. And they're like, it's all wrong.
Yeah.
Give me a still of a napkin, a plate, and the actor, and move on. This is boring.
Yeah, it's crushing too, because it's like, dude, you know how hard I just worked on all of this crap? And
right,
you're telling me it's...
I blocked all those shots, and I tracked the camera, and I rented a better camera just so I could get these shots today. And the guy's like,
quality, but when it comes to actually doing shots, he's guessing. He needs to do more in order to guess.
Oh, that hurts to hear. Oh my God.
Well, I got some feedback today about some art that I worked on.
Careful.
And then with our students on top of that, they'll have the cost of producing their films. Some of them work, and a lot of them take out loans. They go into debt. It's gambling, You
they don't give you free
to take that chance.
Film supplies.
Nope. You have to rent and buy everything yourself.
Yeah.
Register right now because you didn't pay the bill from the fall.
I paid $2,000, but I couldn't find the other $7,300. I'm an international student, so that's mean a very hard situation from the economic point of view. I ask a loan for international students, but they ask an American co-borrower and credit history. American co-borrower? Do you think I just moved in New York, I can find someone sign for $30,000 for me? No.
No, and I think it's way more expensive now.
Oh yeah. That's not even talking about living there.
Yeah, and it's also the top 5 most expensive places to live in the world. This music does not work here.
Not being
cheesy.
You two are maybe not professionals.
We are not. We're two guys watching TV.
Right, I think. My printer doesn't work, and I need a copy of my script to request the soundstage.
God, I had that computer. You have your computer plugged into the same plug as your hair dryer?
Do you have a computer?
That just...
Thank you.
You just don't...
I plan a lot of stuff in my head.
Know stuff.
It goes great in my head, but then I procrastinate to the last minute.
That's not
You're
good.
neurodivergent.
You have to be on top of everything.
Yeah, you're neurodivergent. Ask me how I know.
Or you have to have producers that are like the best ever, that won't screw you over. And
I just printed it twice now. How do I stop it? Can we just go? Jesus.
She's losing it over printing her script.
Frustrating.
Because she waited until the last minute.
Some people graduate as producers, some as DPs, some as editors, some as directors, and some don't graduate at all. and I hope not to be in the latter.
Oh.
Well, we'll see.
Well,
we're all gonna find out.
Yeah, let's all.
I wonder how many different kinds of sneakers she has.
The people who come out of it. I have no idea how I got in.
See, Kyle knows that those are Converse.
I like to tell
Oh, you didn't get a good look at them?
that you don't
I did.
really hear about. My
Was this her-
film is about a guy who takes in an escaped lab monkey and likes living with people and one of them having to live with people.
This is getting me anxious.
No.
You're gonna do.
Let's talk about these monkeys for a second. When the monkey comes, he gets along with the monkey. They have a good time watching television. They hang and.
He's actually.
Oh, kind of like Chris and Kyle.
Because now he's experiencing fulfillment.
And how was his life before that monkey?
He doesn't have any ambition or goals. He has a really hard time, but he's relating to the monkey better than he relates to people.
Again, it's very, very, very simple to see that these people, some of them are pouring themselves into video that is just a mirror of themselves, but with no insight or development, no breakthroughs that anyone else can relate to and then get a little emotional response from.
And like for me, she doesn't have any experience in shooting or lighting or audio recording or set design or anything. She just thinks that she's going to come up with all these elements for this story. And the more you know about video production, the more you know that just getting a monkey for one day is more expensive than the whole movie.
And it's never going to do what you want. It's never going to do what you want.
Animals and kids are the hardest thing in the world to work with, and your first film is going to be working with the hardest thing in the world?
Your co-star.
Have you ever talked to anyone or watched any videos about anything? It doesn't seem like it.
She's one of these young filmmakers that are right.
Yeah, Aaliyah is right.
Experience in the world.
The little animations of their film ideas look better than all of their films in the end.
Somebody did a great job on that. I agree with that.
And sometimes she doesn't even realize that that's what she's doing.
Let me talk to Nick for a second. Yeah, I got a lot of neurodivergence in my family, and it's one of the things that I deal with, not only for myself, but the people around me. A lot of people that like Back to the Sofa probably also have that, because the thing about neurodivergence is when you look around at your friends and your circle of people around you, if you are neurodivergent, chances are some of your friends are. Chris probably isn't.
I'm not saying
What
it
sounds
is.
made up?
I'm saying it sounds made up.
Neurodivergence?
I've never heard of it until now.
He,
Nick says, "Shut up." Kyle's relating to it.
There's a lot of people like Barbara around, but you very rarely
Look at that monitor.
one wanting to direct a movie.
Windows 2000.
It's every monitor in the thrift store.
It'll be seen and it'll be received well by the right people, and I'll be able to get a job from it.
Do you have a monkey?
Once you start school,
Then you can't make a monkey movie,
this program,
because the answer was no.
goodbye to everybody else in the world that you know, because you're not going to have time for them.
Yeah, say goodbye to everyone is right.
I've heard it often from different women in my life. They want me to spend more time.
I think she's going to be gone in a couple episodes.
Wow. Did you write this?
Genuinely good person.
It was really simple, yo.
We've kept it on and off all summer.
Like Back to the Sofa.
See you soon.
And Hooters.
Yeah, he's not going to that wedding.
He's not.
3 weeks?
Impossible.
Life for anything but my work.
I'll see you soon. All right, get out of here.
Yeah, maybe, whatever.
So here's a preview.
I just want to give you a little bit of an idea while we're all here together about what the year looks like. We're going to have 7 weeks of classes. This is really a pre-production period. Once the 7 weeks end, there'll be a couple of days of pre-production, and then we'll go right into the production period. We're doing 36 10-minute films.
That's fucking
in a very short period of time.
These are all just 10-minute films.
Go wrong on every shoot. So
That's so long.
You
It's
want to
forever.
be ready for this. All right, we're good on that? Okay, welcome back.
They're only doing 10-minute films, and it is a lot.
This season on Film School.
You tell me if this looks interesting.
This project is like, if I died tomorrow, would I be satisfied?
That equipment is cool.
The 24th of September is the deadline to pay tuition. I still have to find money for my film.
I don't have
Producer needed.
I don't have any actors. I don't have anything.
There's not a guy out there who's a professional fundraiser of short films.
I will never find the money to shoot the film.
Like, I want the audience to feel kind of like she's being touched and she doesn't like it.
I think it's weak. I'm gonna tell you.
You guys don't think I've been thinking about this since day one? This goddamn motherfucker, brother.
Someone gives you feedback and you argue with them.
A dictator instead of a director.
This is making a film real and possible.
You're not genie crew. Everybody out immediately. I don't care what you're doing. Get out now.
The film will suffer.
We're shooting a sexual scene with an underage actor.
Get into it more. Like, be more aggressive.
I'm not comfortable being associated with acting.
I'm totally fine, and now
Oh my God.
about it. So you want me to move on?
You want to know what I'm doing? You stay where I'm taking decision.
I'm not trying to impress you.
Fuck off.
Oh! Oh!
Those moments where you shine.
Those fiery Italians.
Making a film.
This is so fucked up.
Action.
That was an interesting editing choice to put the word action at the very end of it.
That's right.
I like that.
And then it ends.
Right.
So anyway, that is Film School. It's really something that when we watched, I got a lot from what was shown and what was said, but also what's not said and how close to reality it feels. Like the stress of it all and the closing in and the money and the time and the effort, and no one cares. No one cares.
Oh, yeah.
You could be putting your heart into it. You could be making that film about the gentleman that was killed, about your mom with MS, about the monkey, about no one gives a shit, and they will not. And until they see it, it'll be like a meal, just like every other meal. You'll be like McDonald's or you'll be like a restaurant. No, I don't like it.
Right.
Or I like it. That's all you'll get.
Someone comes to your 10-minute film that you just spent $100,000 on, and they're like a minute in, and they're like, nah, I don't get it. What else do you got?
You're like, that was my life. That's me.
What else do I have? So like, there's more going on here than just pointing your phone at a couple of guys on a sofa. Like there's AI involved. There's camera. There's lighting. There's editing done by a guy who does it for a living.
Hello.
There's a weird guy with a bunch of shit that will be like, hey guys, what song do you want to hear?
Okay.
And then play it on a stylophone. So yeah. So Film School, we're definitely going to go through. There's no whores. I'm just going to put that out there.
I'm sorry.
There's no whores.
You get it. It's a huge drop off in whores.
Except for right here in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoe whore. Now we're getting into the silliness. No more. Whack. It felt really quiet for some reason, and now I know why.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.